Power rate at the park.
The what?
Power rate.
Oh, okay.
Park. Discharged out of the lagoons for a couple weeks. Done doing that now. Water, wastewater reports are sent off. I haven't heard nothing, so I'm assuming they're good. Did the alleys. Pushed up at the dump quite a bit, had 10 trees come in. Had to get the pump out and pump the lift station by me, because too much coming in, I couldn't keep up with it. Ended up pulling them pumps out, cleaned them. There's some junk caught up in there. The flow wasn't going through there what should be. So then we cleaned all the check valves since they're there. Changed all the handles and deadbolts at the park. Didn't think we needed 4 doors and 3 different sets of keys. So I changed it all, so we got 1 set of keys for everything.
Nice.
And so that the shelter still got its own setup though. But guardhouse is pretty much done. Pool here, a couple things yet. Nothing major. Bathrooms and park are open. Pool's full running. Got some troubles with chemicals. Chlorine and pH levels are not working out good at all. Matter of fact, if somebody wanted to jump in today, I won't let them. And had Scott come down for a couple days, and he tried, and when it came to the point where I don't know either. So we called the guy up in Sioux Falls there by T. Spencer's his name. That's who we get the acid, chemicals, and reagents from. He came down today, and he pretty much reset everything. And we got it set. Find out tomorrow if everything's good. So hopefully that is. Yeah, I had to run the T a couple times because we didn't have enough chemicals for it. Twice actually, the first time, then had to make a second trip. Finished that dirt at that park stuff down there by me, and did some by Nate Facus and the bathhouse down here. Did some sprayed the pool there, the grass, and by the water tower and the softball field today. Had a tree fall down on the street, picked that up. Endpoints are done.
Yay.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yay. That's
Unless
exciting.
Carol ruins it and says you've missed one.
I'll do something.
Yeah, like I said, we had to run the T that time and get parts for the meter pumps too. We ended up changing all that crap in there. Maybe something was wrong with them. Not sure, nothing. Fixed the water fountain in the park. And then, I met with this Spencer today. And Chad talked to me about this outfit that was giving a pretty good discount on doing some street work
Yeah, come on in, Jeff.
for seal coating. And I got him, so I don't know if you're interested, if anybody else knew about it or whatnot. He's coming tomorrow. Just to drive around and get a quote.
Okay.
So, and that, and the rest of it's the pool. I can credit, depends how much time you wanna waste, I can. So it's basically the pool, yeah, and that's 95%.
Of your time right now? Yeah.
Well, done.
Oh, 95% done, yeah.
It's just the chlorine, just a few odds and ends,
Okay.
and that's,
Visu Sewer.
tried calling him today again, he didn't answer. I called Tony to see if he had heard anything. And he said he had tried to call 1 time, but he hasn't got back to him yet. He was gonna try today and let me know. But Tony didn't call me back, so I'm just assuming he didn't. I was gonna call him again in the morning.
Okay. The favorite park, any changes or updates there from your perspective? It looks good.
Well, you have to tell me what's usually
Yeah.
planning, I guess.
I'm gonna let the guys go after. Anything on the tornado siren?
We can get a hold, yeah, we did get a hold of a different outfit. They didn't give a day they could on the,
They will call us.
they're out of Missouri.
Okay.
He said you can't just send a guy up here, they gotta get their crew up, So as far as we know, they're gonna come. I don't remember what their name was even.
Blue Valley, it's the rep
Yeah.
for the siren company for our area.
Okay,
That's all I can tell you on that.
okay. I think that's everything then. You guys, Shannon and Rick, do you wanna go with your park stuff since we need him to be here to kind of hear about it? Or,
We can go whenever, yeah, it is whatever. I did have one, comment about the park. And there was, do we have like any signs or anything that we can put up to just encourage people to pick up their trash?
Nope.
I received complaints from someone who's, like, there was, yeah, kid socks and like, there's a lot of trash that was in the actual park thing, which I know.
Shoes, bikes,
Yeah,
belts.
yeah,
Yeah.
which, you know, a lot of people, you know, sometimes it's just kids that run over there and they don't have the parents to help
Yeah.
encourage them to bring their stuff home, but.
Last week there was a bike there for 3 days.
But,
But no, there is no signs that I don't, never seen any, but there isn't any.
Yeah, that is a pretty big problem over there.
yeah, there's just stuff that gets left there all the time. Some of it's just garbage, you know,
Yeah.
candy wrappers and whatever, but. Which I don't know, maybe we need to put a garbage can closer to the playground area or something too.
There's 3 by the community, the shelter house.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think by the softball field.
Yep.
1 in each dugout, and 4 spread around.
I don't know if I saw one there last time we were,
They were kind of all lined up, I think.
No, they're spread out now.
they're spread out now. Okay.
We do have a book of signs.
do you want it? Do we think we need a sign?
I don't know, sign to do it
Is that
again or
gonna
not,
help?
but
Yeah. I don't know if it would actually help.
maybe just a simple Facebook post. You know, or
Yeah.
public notice, please clean up.
Take care of our park.
Either that, or if I see shoes or socks, I just pitch them in the trash, and people call, complain about it.
Yeah.
Pick
Yeah.
stuff up.
Right.
Okay,
Okay,
start there.
yeah. Then do you guys wanna go with your?
I do got a different one. I seen that you had extreme fire protection for the back flushing. What's that actually entitled with?
The what?
Back flushing of hydrants, as I said?
Backflow at the swimming pool,
Oh, that's swimming pool.
it's a requirement
Okay,
that we have that tested every year before we open.
okay, get that. Do we flush our hydrants in town?
Twice a year, spring and
Well, it
fall.
has been, I know there's a couple places, the dirty water lady, we gotta do twice,
Otherwise, it's just
just in the fall. If you want twice, if you want spring and fall, I can do that, it doesn't bother me none. I mean, it's not like you're breaking your back doing
No, I was just
it,
curious.
yeah.
Now that you said, I didn't know you did
No,
anything else, but
if you guys want to spring and fall too, that's not a problem.
no, I don't know if it's necessary. I'm more the fire department than anything. I don't know. Another thing that's been brought to my attention too, is more of the snow removal, is some hydrants have flags, some don't. The snow gets tall, is that something we need to address?
We're going to, Troy and I talked about that, we're gonna be getting some
Okay.
through the summer.
Okay.
Right now, basically, the ones that are a little more at risk, I think, and some of them that are a little tougher to see, those are the ones, corners and stuff, but there's some, we're gonna get some more of them. We've already talked about that. They just, honestly, they haven't been ordered yet.
Anything else?
Well, yeah, sorry, you did bring up paving.
Jordan.
You asked.
Okay, go.
You brought up paving. Is he going around for the whole town with an estimate or just certain streets?
Certain parts.
Okay,
Matter of fact, I talked to Scott and he's willing to come ride around with me tomorrow and help look for, what to look for on stuff like this
okay.
and that. So I've never handled something like this before, so.
That's what I'm wondering. Do we get a plan like every year we do certain streets?
I
Do
don't
so how
remember.
many?
I'm not even sure how it was done
What we've
before.
done previously, is they drive them in the spring I'd like to see where the problems are.
Mhm.
And then just kind of do those areas. Some don't last as well as others. For whatever reason, but
More cut. So I just brought by Fellowship Village there on the corner there to the east. That was getting really bad there. In front of like Alice Shop, is that gonna get done when they do the angle out of town?
I believe so.
The what one?
In front of that Alice Shop to the north.
Oh, good. I
And,
think so.
That street's.
That's a county deal, isn't
okay, I
We're
didn't know.
responsible for the area in the city limits.
it?
But we are gonna have that one addressed too.
I'm
when they
sure
do
that's
that,
in the plan, but I
Okay.
can double check.
'cause that one's bad too, so.
But with the pool just about ready to go, then we're gonna be doing potholes.
Okay.
We did it last year too. Drive around with the forklift, with the payloader full of that crap and corner to corner, blow them, fill them, pack them, move on. But it took me, 2 days, I think, last year to do. So they're gonna get done, it just hasn't been done yet.
Okay.
I just kinda figured the pool was probably a little more important.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So which company is coming tomorrow?
South Dakota paver or something like that, I couldn't understand it really well.
Okay, that's a new one.
Yeah, when I talked to them the first time, they were up in Aberdeen. And that, and I talked to them again today. And that,
Who's the other company that we've used?
road guy,
Road guy and
Okay.
Top Coat.
Oh, yeah, Top Coat.
Usually get 2 bids.
I was going to, but I was gonna wait till we get the footage
Mhm.
from this guy. And then call them people and say, here, this is the footage we got. That way it's a lot easier, quicker.
Do you have anything else?
For
You sure? Okay. I was checking. It's because I'm gonna ask Shannon one more time and I just didn't wanna. All right, Shannon, you wanna go on the park?
Okay, Rick, myself, and Jamie went to head to Faber Park, because of the request for a basketball hoop, maybe pickleball system, in that Faber Park in the new area, new house area. And we measured out that we could probably sustain a basketball hoop area 50 feet by 26 feet.
Mhm.
And so we decided to get a quote to see, kind of gauge how much it would cost us. I contacted, you guys have all this paperwork, Tri-State Snap Sports out of Sioux City.
Mhm.
And I know the Alvord Community Center, they're getting quotes from them as well
Okay.
for their sports equipment, and contacted them. They seem like a really good company, and they gave us 2 quotes, which would, the 50 feet by 26 feet we'd be able to put a half-court basketball court along with a pickleball court,
Okay.
kind of a multi-sport deal.
Mhm.
And with his first quote, it was just under 11,000. That would include a basketball hoop, the pickleball net, and a light to light that place up. The pickleball net would be removable. It's a portable system where if we chose to, they would have hookups where you could raise the pickleball net from the basketball hoop to a pole, and they could play volleyball on it as well. So, and they would, and that price, just under 11,000, would include the basketball hoop, installation of everything, the lighting system, pickleball net, prep and setup. It says here even prep and setup of laying everything on the concrete, which they'll paint lines, including the line painting, which is a job I would not like to do. And, yeah, they'll paint the whole court, line painting, installation of everything, and then the lighting equipment. So, it was a pretty good quote. The second quote I got with the Snap Sports, they sell the protective plastic tiles that you can put over top of the concrete if you chose to do that.
Okay,
And that was quite a bit more,
yeah.
more than double. So, I told them we'd probably prefer just laying the lines on the concrete. And, Rick, were you able to get a quote for the concrete?
Yeah, just the concrete alone, we're looking at $3,000. And then that's for 20 yards of concrete. I figured it'd be like 19.2 yards at $150 a yard. So that's laying 5 inches thick, which is good and thick. But yeah, that doesn't include the labor to do it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully we can get some volunteer labor or something.
Mm-hmm.
That would help out. So
But I don't know if you want my help, but.
yeah.
But, I mean,
Make sure that they, whoever does that, they don't have to snow out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Good more.
yeah, so, I mean, yeah, seemed like they were very communicative and, yeah, good communication for that company. But I don't know if we definitely wanna look at other companies, try and get other quotes. I know Dakota Sports, they have the sports equipment, but that would not include installation or painting the lines. So, but, wherever we wanna go from here,
This is
I
good.
don't know.
Having some information is good.
Yeah, and I sent you guys pics too of the
Yeah.
actual equipment
Mhm.
that would be on the court, which you could see the quality of
Yeah,
the items that they would be putting out there, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
As far as layout over there, so where we would put this court would be to the south of the playground area. It's actually like along,
Behind it,
behind it, yeah.
close to that house, in between that house and,
Between Chad's shed.
Yes,
Yeah.
to the south.
There's, we run it this way, you know, it's
Yeah.
50 feet
long.
long and
Yeah.
it's a half court basketball court. And then
The boundary goes back a lot farther than you think it
yeah,
does.
there's
Yeah.
actually quite a bit of room there.
Mhm.
I mean, it'd actually be pretty comfortable. We'd have,
Oh, nice.
you know, several feet between that and the playground where it starts.
Yeah.
And then several feet between that and the lot line, actually, so.
Welcome.
And this company, they do put fencing up too, but we can always add that later too,
Mhm.
right behind the basketball hoop if we want to do that.
Sure.
I think from the actual, like, edge of the playground to the lot line, we were at like 48 feet
Oh,
that we had to work, and this would be 26 feet wide.
sure. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
space.
Yeah.
Nice. That's cool.
So, yeah.
I know Jordan had some other ideas about doing separate courts, and I never did get over there to look at them.
What I was curious about doing is pushing the basketball court. I just don't want if there's some kids playing, adults come play pickleball. I don't want it to be one or the other. What I want we could do is push like a half-court basketball further to the west, and then have the pickleball run off on the east side of it. And then basically the basketball pole hoop would be the one post, and the pickleball on the other side.
Is there enough space for that? How big is it? I don't know.
There's
how big-
82 feet altogether.
Oh, okay.
That's 82 feet wide. I don't know how much room the pickleball court needs.
I think it's 48 all the way
Yeah,
across, I think.
something like that.
Yeah.
It was less than I had
Yeah.
thought originally. So. it's
I
pretty
thought it
close
was
to half
pretty
the
close
size
to,
of a
yeah,
Basketball court.
yeah. I think it was close to 46 to 48, that a pickleball court would.
That's
The
the
length.
depth of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, yeah, 25 for something wide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because that was my whole thing, if we're going 25 anyways for the width, you lay that off, my whole thing, if that kickball isn't being played, it's still a nice cement.
So you mean just make it longer?
Yes.
Is there enough space for that? If you need another 48 feet? To go to the next,
Math don't quite work out there if we're doing 48 feet, that's 96.
yeah,
It's not
there's
82.
not enough,
No.
it's not
There's
long
not
enough.
gonna- That's not gonna be long enough.
No, but I
The only,
mean,
the only option is if we ran it, made an L out of it. Have the basketball here and then the ball we're running this way. But that then impedes our thought of in the future putting swings on the east
Mhm.
side as well.
Yeah,
those swings aren't going on the west side?
We were looking at maybe the east
East
side
side.
is what we were talking.
I guess for me, I'd rather keep stuff away from the street as possible.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's, how much feet from the playground to the lot line is on the other side, on the west side?
I never even measured that.
Yeah, we did.
Because it's pretty much in the middle, isn't it, Jamie?
Pretty close.
I mean, that's just my biggest thing, is keeping the balls, keeping the little kids away
Mhm.
from.
Right.
Yeah,
I guess I would just like to see two different options instead of just one or the other,
yeah.
Right.
if we can make it, because my whole thing,
Yeah.
the only difference is the cement.
Yep.
So you got, okay, so can you guys circle up
Yeah.
and get a little bit more of a option for them being separate? And then we can have some more discussion next month?
Right.
Does that sound okay?
Absolutely.
Do we
If it
want to
doesn't work, it doesn't work, I'd rather see something than nothing.
Yeah.
But I don't want to limit us either, if it was just,
Yeah.
difference in another $2,500, $2,000 of cement.
That sound okay?
Yeah, that
Okay.
sounds great.
Thank you guys for getting that information.
Do we want to look into swings at all or anything like that, or
I don't think it hurts.
get some pricing on all of it and come back?
Get all of it and come back.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure where to go for the swings. I don't know if this company does.
Carol has playground equipment magazines.
Okay.
Thick ones.
Got options.
Lots of them.
Mhm.
Sounds good.
Yes,
See how many I can make you live through, huh?
awesome. Thank you very much. Jamie, do you have any questions on any of that stuff? Okay. And you guys, can you just, I'm gonna say to Len again, because I was the person who forgot last time. Can you just make sure you loop him into all of the conversations so that he's a part of it and knows what you're thinking, so he doesn't lay something down that later has to be torn up? That'd be great. Okay, anything else for Jamie?
I'm just curious, in the meantime, are we doing anything with the grass, planting something?
That's what I was gonna ask, you wanna do it now or wait till this fall, especially if you're gonna.
I don't know how soon
Dig it
this is
up.
gonna.
We're gonna tear things up, we just will wait till we decide what this plan is.
I agree.
I mean, I get that, but it's gonna be a lot
Yeah,
something along
It
those.
is. I'd like to get some grass.
for $100 with the grass seed, we can
That's fine.
make it, so.
I mean,
It's not
disgusting.
because for me, I'd like to try to get some grants for the basketball hoops, for the swing sets. I mean, I know that takes time and process too.
Yeah, we're a month or two out from having anything done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would rather see some grass seed get put there.
That's fine.
My opinion.
You guys can.
Well,
Yeah,
the
if
thing
we at least do grass seed, I mean, that would be fine until we finalize everything.
Okay, is that okay? Okay, you can throw some seed down, Jamie. Walk around.
Appreciate you.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Okay, John, I'm gonna have you go since you're here and it's almost done.
Oh.
Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm ready to go. Did your meeting start at 6?
6:30.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're
I'm
fine.
late.
No, you're just fine. You're not late at all. You were prompt. We're chomping at the bit.
So do you want me to kind of talk through what we had submitted to you
I
guys?
would love for you to do that.
So I want to introduce myself. Jordan, I don't remember meeting
Here's
you
the
before.
lid.
Have you been on for a while?
No, just January started.
Okay, so I'm
Shannon
John.
too.
You too, you're new too,
Yep.
Shannon?
Yeah.
Oh, you look familiar. I thought you were here. The last time I got chewed out. We've been here before and helped you guys out. My name is John Brown. I'm with Stockwell Engineers and we've done some projects for you. I worked closely with Carol and previous mayors and maintenance folks as well. And you know, we're here tonight to present a couple different proposals for you. The first one would be one for you to consider if you wanted to have us on more or less a retainer so that we could provide you with some professional services on a regular basis. What that is you guys all get a copy of the first one. Maybe I should hand this out, another copy of it. Here's an original, if you guys want to see that. It looks like you all got it.
I printed mine out.
Did you print yours?
It's in the back.
Got
In the packet? Here you go, here's another one. I'll just give it to you. So what this is just your, you know, you got one. This is Carol.
Thank you. Good to see you again.
You too. So what this is just a city engineering services. And what we would help you do is work with on your day-to-day things. So if something comes up and you wanted some help with something, you can just call us and we come over in the next couple of days and meet with whoever and kind of go over whatever you needed. Couple things that's happened tonight that, you know, I think we could help you with, and that would be, you know, your chip seal or your seal coat project that you're working on. We can help give you some direction on what's the right places to be doing that. And, you know, are some streets too far gone to even be doing that? Things like that. Your park project that you're looking at, you know, we can just lay that out on an aerial map and try to illustrate and give you that so that you can go out there and get some, you know, volunteers to measure off the property lines and do some concrete so that you got it fitting within your property to make sure it fits. So those are some things that we could help you with. And what we would suggest is if you hire us to do this or have us come on retainer, we'd suggest we come to one of your meetings a month. You have only one?
One a month,
One a month?
unless I get really
Upset.
aggressive. Mhm. And then maybe
So we'd
come in all the
suggest
time.
So maybe you think that's too often. So, because this would be on an hourly basis. So what would happen is if you feel once, since you only have one meeting a month, if that's too often, maybe we come every other month. And we just come and just, so we can listen in to what your conversations are. And if you guys think, oh, this might be a question for Stockwell, maybe we should table it for our next meeting. But if that starts to delay things, I would suggest you just have a show up at every meeting. Because we can touch base with some of your things and then, you know, come, listen, get some feedback, get some direction and leave. You guys can finish your meeting. We wouldn't have to necessarily stay for the whole meeting if you didn't want us to, or we could stay for the whole meeting, either way. And so that's what this proposal is for. And then the next proposal that we had available is if you wanted to go ahead and put together a new map system. It sounds like, Carol, you do have a map available that Schoenfeld might have done for you.
Mhm.
What this proposal is for, this next one,
Real quick, John, and
Yeah.
just for you guys, so when he says retainer, if their Stockwell's not used for anything that month, there's no fee
yeah, no,
for
sorry.
them that month. It's just like our attorney. If we don't use our attorney, we don't pay for anything. This is just saying he's our attorney. They're our engineer for anything that we might call on them for.
We do this for several communities. So Larchwood and other towns in the area, we do these types of services. We provide this service for them. And in South Dakota, you know, North Sioux City to Worthing to several communities. And some communities, we do like what we've done for you in the past, you know, a project here and a project there, the projects you've had. So your street project we just did,
Favor,
what was the name of it?
Favor Drive.
Yeah, Favor Drive, we did that project for you, we designed it, we helped you go out for bids, then a contractor built it, we made sure it was built correctly. That's the type of work we do, so that's the type of services we provide for you. We did a water main project about 4 or 5 years ago in town, and that was just the tip of the iceberg. You know, you guys got some issues with your water and sewer service, sewer main that we, you know, at some point we need to start tackling that, or you need to start tackling that. That's a big deal. So But this first contract, I don't know if you want to act on that, or if you want to talk about both of them first and then come back and act on one or the other.
I think talk about them.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
so I have an understanding.
So what that first one is like I said, would be an engineer, available for you to, just provide some recommendations. That's sitting here at a meeting, we could tell you, suggest what you do in certain situations. That's the value of us, is coming to the meeting, because we know everything about infrastructure as far as, not know everything, let me rephrase that. We understand water and sewer, storm drainage, streets, anything associated with the municipal government outside of your buildings. So park systems, we've got landscape architects on staff, we have surveyors on staff, so we can figure out where property lines are, if we need to figure out where an alley is, for example, and you need to do some improvements on an alley. Or if you need some drainage issues fixed on the back of back lot lines or something like that, we can figure out where's it at. And we can give you recommendations on how to make those improvements. What improvements would they be? And then we can tell you, okay, that might be 60,000, that might be 150,000 to make those improvements. And we'll give you those estimates. And then you decide if you want to go forward with those improvements. That's the type of thing we do on the on-call services. And then if you decide to go forward with that project, let's say it's a $150,000 drainage project, that wouldn't be under your force account. We'd give you an actual contract to do just that project, so that you know exactly what that's going to cost going into it. Otherwise, if it's on our, let's call it our force account, or our retainer contract, we're just going to charge you every hour that we spend on it, and sometimes they can get drug out. And it's hard for you to be able to understand how much of that is going to cost. So that's why we do engineering services. So when we come to meetings, or if we have to go meet with a property owner or have drainage issues, those are on an hourly basis as needed. And you would tell us when you want us to do that. It wouldn't be like we would just start racking up a bill. You'd have to call us, or you'd have Carol, somebody would have to call us and say, hey, we've got to fix this. Or if I'm sitting here in a meeting and you want us to go look at something, we could do that. And we move forward with that. And you would know then that, hey, we're going to start, the ticker's going to start ticking, so you would know that. What we then put together was an agreement for you to actually start a process. At this time, we didn't realize you had some information already, Carol, that you might have some maps from Shortville, right? We took what we had and put together this proposal, but even the information, I'm not sure what you have, and we'd like to see that to just kind of evaluate, because if there's something there that we can salvage and use, we want to do that to help lower this price, okay? But this price, what I wanted to talk through what this is for, is to go take your existing maps, which at the time wasn't this detailed map that you may have or may not have. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if you got it electronically, Carol, I'd love to see it, because we could then take a look at that map and see if that's usable for this. But this proposal is to actually generate and create a new mapping system for you. And what that mapping system is, it would be for water, sewer, and drainage, okay? They're your more important infrastructure items that you need to keep track of. And what this would be is we would actually go out and physically do a field survey, where we'd have survey crew here digging up manholes, opening them up, measuring rims, measuring down from the rim to the invert, so from the flow lines, and figuring out what size pipes they are, okay? And so that we can put on that map, this depth of this manhole is 10 feet deep or 18 feet deep, or whatever that is. So we have this map that shows what depth that manhole is and what size pipe it is going the different directions out of that manhole. And those are pretty important, because in time, you'll find that you've got issues with those sewer mains and things like that you may need to replace. Well, now all of a sudden we got an inventory of that already, and we can start estimating costs for you with just this map. So this map becomes pretty valuable for your engineer, whether that's us or whoever that is. And then it also becomes pretty valuable for your staff, because then they can take, so this document we're proposing as part of this proposal is to go out, physically survey all the water main, all the sanitary sewer, and all your storm sewer, meaning having rim and inverts, actual physical locations for everything, including curb stops. So everybody shut off for into their houses would be located so that we have each location. So now it's a GPS coordinate on that. And then we create this GIS database that you could use for, we could use it as your engineer to help estimate takeoff, do takeoffs and things like that. But we'd also know, we put an inventory together saying this is 8-inch clay sewer pipe. So it'd actually be labeled, what kind of pipe it is from manhole to manhole. And if we know it, if we don't know it, we won't label it. We'll just call it 6-inch or 8-inch or whatever. But we try to figure out what type of material it is as well, so that you got a good inventory of that, your piping. And then once we have that information, there's a host of things we can do beyond that. And that host of things would be one of the things that was on the additional services, not part of the original scope, would be creating a hydraulic model of your sewer system and your water system. And what that means is a hydraulic, I'll give you an example of your water system. We would create this map that shows all the different pipes in a computer software that we could then simulate, like a fire, basically fighting a fire at a different location within your community, and see how your pipe network functions, see how well it does. That would be an additional service, but that's easy to do now that we've got the background maps. But we need to go get these background maps first, so that we have basically the database to put into the computer model. So now we can start modeling your system. We can do that with water, and you can do it with sewer. You can start looking at your sewer system. Usually there's not an issue with the sewer system from a size standpoint for hydraulic modeling, unless for some reason you got a lot of infiltration coming into your sewer pipe. Then all of a sudden you'll find that you don't have enough pipe capacity, and then back in homes, and I don't know if you've got that issue now or not. But that'd be one thing that you could help model and figure out, okay, this pipe is flowing full, why is it? It should only been half full, but it's flowing full in the spring of the year when we got a lot of infiltration. So.
And then another part of that too, correct me, John, if I'm wrong, is that you help identify the parts that need to be prioritized in terms of repair. So you do that for that little section over there, kind of earmarking. I remember the color coding system. It was like, these are the worst that need to be try to lump in with your project.
So what we do, what we're talking about here, is basically we try to take a color-coded map. Once we know we have an inventory, and we color-code your map for priorities. And you can help identify the priorities so that you know that, okay, if we're gonna be doing any projects in town, we better start with this one, because if we're gonna replace a street, there's a sewer shot, and the water main's too small, and we need to make some adjustments to that. So that would be a place where you would start, and you'd see that priority within these maps that we generate for you. So from an engineering standpoint, I think a valuable thing for us is just to have these maps. I think it'd be very valuable for you as well, even if we weren't involved, because you could always update them. The GIS mapping system is pretty common anymore, and a lot of people are doing it. And what you do is you really take your survey data that we would put together, and give you that from an electronic standpoint, and then you could use it even if we weren't the ones working on it for you. And so we've got two proposals in front of you. One is for engineering services, and the other one is to create the database of your water, sewer, and storm sewer. And that's the first one had no value to it, other than it'd be an hourly contract as you would need. And the second one would be a task order, the first task order, which would be to develop this mapping system. And so I would suggest, so it sounds like you did, find out you do have some maps. I'd like to see that, because if we could see that, we might be able to save some money on that proposal.
Yeah.
And we want to do that if we can help it, because then what that means is we can, if there's any savings that we could use from that document, we will take that savings and suggest, if you're willing to spend up to $75,000 or some dollar amount, we'd suggest you go into the next step, which are called out as additional services on that second page of that proposal. We'd suggest you start thinking about that, because those are important items to move along and check off the box. So if you look at, just so you guys can see that, go to the second page of the. So this here is the scope of basic services. That'd be the inventory and mapping. That's what we would be doing at first. So the first page would be the inventory and mapping. Do it real quick. So just so you guys all know, this would be the inventory and mapping, and that's pretty detailed of what we would be doing there. Your sanitary sewer, your water, and your storm. Okay. And then the next page had additional services. You see that at the top? That additional services? No, you're too far back there.
Page 2 of 3, maybe you got the right.
Yeah, here you go. This is phase 1, and then phase 2 would be the additional services, would be what, if you can handle, somewhere around that 7, I didn't know what your budget was, what you were trying to get to, but we knew this is what it would take to get that first mapping system set up, and we thought we better start with that rather than do all of these items. So if you look at those additional services, they would be additional items, and that second one is that hydraulic modeling that I was talking about. So what we would do is we'd take your water system and develop a hydraulic model, and we would simulate a fire downtown, or we would simulate it out in the far reaches of town, and so you can see what size pipe and how your pipe is acting. And so what we do is we take your model, your map, create a model, and then we calibrate it. And when I say we calibrate it, what we do is we physically go out and we open up a fire hydrant, like you were talking about flushing it, and we measure the gallons per minute that are coming out of that hydrant. And we measure the pressure at the time when we're opening that hydrant. And then we say, oh, our hydraulic model, our perfect scenario in the computer said it should have been 80 pounds pressure. Well, it's not, it's only 60 pounds pressure, but why is that? So now we'd say, well, it's probably because we have other restrictions that are creating that. So we put a new pressure at that location so we can basically calibrate the model. So we know exactly what our pressures are in different parts of the town. And so that's what we'd be doing as a part of that phase 2. And then the next step would be then figuring out, okay, what is your priority? What do you want to start checking off? What do you want to start doing projects for? And then we would do some cost estimating for you. We'd sit down and go over that cost estimate and say, okay, you really need to replace these next 3 blocks of sewer and these 2 blocks of water. And that's a priority. They showed up in this, and we start doing an estimate, and we say, okay, this is about what it would cost. You decide, well, can we even afford that or not? And then you'd say, well, we can't afford it, but let's see if we can go get some grant funds or some loans, low interest loans, and spread this out over some time. And so then what we would do is help you. That's what part of phase 3 is. That's a comprehensive facility plan. What that means is we prioritize these areas of town, and we say, okay, phase 1 is $700,000 or whatever that is. And we think you should, plan on doing that in the next 2 years. So that cost estimate we put together in what we call a facilities plan. And then we submit that to the state and your local DNR, and apply for funding. And when I say we apply for funding, you apply for not only grants, but you also apply for a loan, low interest loans from them to potentially do this project. And so then what you would do is you'd sit back, wow, that we didn't get any grant funds. We have to pay for all this on a loan. We have very little cash. So we want to we want to cut back. And we've done this before for you with that water main project. That started out big and it come back down a little because of the costs are kept getting bigger. And that's what we do. But with this plan that we've got proposed here is we put together a good inventory of your whole system. So we know that we're doing the right areas first. You know, a lot of times what we're doing now is you react, and every town does that, so don't think you're the only ones that do that. Most towns are reacting to water main breaks over here. You know, we had 3 water main breaks on this block, we gotta replace it, you know, and so then we know around the corner, we've had some other issues, so we better do these next 2 blocks. Well, what we can help you do is prioritize those areas so that you're doing bigger areas and you're trying to get a better, more cost-effective cost per foot, so to speak, so you're getting more bang for your buck. So we might suggest you do a bigger project than a smaller project, just because of that, because you end up getting more efficiencies out of that bigger project. So, but those are the things we could help you with. So, what I would suggest is number one, you decide if you want to just table them both for now, until we've had a chance to look at your maps. Sounds like maybe you could email those to us, Carol, whatever you do have, and then we can take a look at them and see what's there. You know, is it
And if that
electronic?
changes this.
Is it electronic, or is it just a paper copy?
We have the paper copies, we don't have the electronic.
Okay, so that really isn't gonna, I mean, what it'll help us do, it won't help us a lot, is what I'm getting at. So what it would do is so those maps, I don't know how accurate they are. So that's why I say what we would create is an accurate drawing. So we would physically GPS coordinates every manhole and every valve box. We get every location out there so that it's easy to walk up with your phone or any type of a handheld GPS and you can find exactly where that's at, or supposed to be at. And then you can dig it up if you needed to. And that's really where we would suggest you start with that base map and then decide if you want to go forward with other additional items on that list. So if it's just a paper copy, what it'll help us do is help us, we'll use that as our map in the field to say, okay, well, we're in this manhole. Because usually they weren't more detailed. When I say more detailed, I mean the actual depth of the sewer in each manhole. Do you think that is on there? The map, the location, does it give you the depth of the sewer manhole?
I don't know about the depth from memory.
I don't remember seeing it, but
I don't know about the depth.
So the reason the depth's important is that then you can look at it and figure out which way everything's draining and make sure you're always, when we start replacing any infrastructure in the town, we try to start from the lower end of the sewer because we want to try to pick up a little extra depth of that sewer. And the reason is because chances are there's sewer services or different manholes that there's sags in the line. And so that means there's this going on in the line. Well, that means there's sewer sitting in those pipes and there's not as much capacity and they get, half full of a sag. In other words, well, you don't have any capacity and you got a lot of buildup in there, right? And so what we want to do is we want to try to fix those issues as you replace your sewer system, But those are things you don't know unless you get a good inventory of your revenue inverts and figure out, starting from the beginning, you want to start from the lower end and work your way up. And we try to pick up some depth as soon as we can, so that when I say extra depth, we try to pick up an extra foot and a half, so that sewer's a foot and a half deeper as we're coming into the new system, so that as we're replacing things, we're fixing those problems that might have had sags and things like that. And we're replacing it with new sewer with, PVC pipe that's, lasts longer than the old clay. And a lot of times there's tree roots and things like that in the sewer mains and things like that. These televised reports that you guys talked about, we would investigate, we'd look at all those and see where those tree roots are, the problem areas are as well. So we're an engineering company. If you guys didn't pick up on that yet, we're an engineering company that we do services for other communities. So
I think I do want to give you the paper copy of the report, just so you can see if there's
Okay.
anything useful on there.
Perfect.
And then I think we can have a conversation about
Yeah, if you want to go forward. or
Yeah,
not, you
yeah.
know. Perfect,
Okay,
perfect.
does that sound, do you guys have
Yeah.
any questions
Well, I
for
kind of
John?
do the vision sewer that we got coming before Torchwood, is that just gonna be a duplicate now what we're doing?
No, so what that is, what Envision,
That's just the video. part of that.
they
He's
clean it.
excited that we're doing
Yeah,
that. He
we
was
love
really
it.
jazzed.
Because now we know the condition of that sewer system, wherever they were gonna televise that. So to me, what they do is they come in and jet it all out and then they televise it, and we can see what condition that pipe is in. We actually watch those tapes a lot. A lot of communities have those.
He asked if we had any more.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good information for us. We don't do that part of it.
Okay.
What we do is actually, we log the locations of everything. We know what kind of pipe it is, but then we don't know the condition until we get that televised report. And then we can all link all this stuff together though. We can link it all together. So like if they've televised between manhole 15 and 16, we will map that. So we can say, look on book XYZ, sheet this, because it has a televised report of that. And then you can click on it and pull it up. So it's pretty nice. Good stuff. And it's handy for everybody to use. So, but anyway, okay. Any other questions?
Anything else you guys have? I don't have anything. Thanks, John.
Yeah,
for coming.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Thank you so much.
And the big difference, one thing I do want to add is, a lot of times people will do your maps like this, but they don't necessarily do the services. The water services are pretty critical, because if we can figure out where the curb stop or the shut off is, that's pretty valuable, because a lot of times they get covered up and then you can't hardly find them, and if your maintenance guys can go out there with some type of a controller and find exactly where that's at, and they don't have to worry about digging up several different holes. I think it's over here, or I think it's over there, and that kind of thing. So a lot of times on those maps, they might not have included the services on there, so. But,
We'll send
Okay.
that, we'll send that to you. We'll get it
okay,
sent
will you
over.
just email it? You want to just email it to me?
Just scan
or-
and send, yeah.
Is it, yeah, or mail it to me, whatever you got, hard copy, whatever you have. All right? That way we can take a look at it and see what value that provides.
That'd be great.
Okay?
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you guys. I might take off of that.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks so much.
All right, I took a lot of. enough of your
Yeah,
time.
you're good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you guys. We'll see you
Yes.
later.
All right, let's roll into the budget amendment hearing. Is that done? Jordan, are you here for any public comment? Do you mind if we do the budget hearing quick?
no, you can do that.
Okay. When I lost my paper, oh, there it is. Nope.
All right, so this is our final attempt to stay within the budget for this fiscal year. This is what we have to maintain. So you'll notice that we increased on the revenues. That's just funds that we received for the community center, mostly. And then on the expenditure side. So, I am very cautious. I like to add a little bit just to make sure that we're not going over. The first one is public works. That includes streets, fuel, wages, garbage. And this time we are going over just a little bit. We had 2 full months yet, May and June. So I added enough to cover that. And the same with the culture and recreation. That includes the park and pool. And I just wanted to increase that to make sure that we're covered for the pool startup. We've already spent a little bit on chemicals, etc. General government, we increased there to hopefully cover enough to cover our insurance premium, which will be due in June. We can't, if we don't have enough, then sometimes we pay in July, but we try to pay in June. So that's for tort liability and property insurance. And we need some to cover a little salary increase. And that special election we had, and the negative on that one. The debt service. That we increased to cover the payments for the Favor Drive project. I don't know if you remember, but our debt service, that's usually payable December 1st and June 1st. December 1st is interest only, and June 1st is interest and principal. And the capital projects, that's covered what we spent on Favor Drive and the Favor project this past fiscal year. Questions?
Did we get the 466,000 from for the additional supplemental fund?
No.
Guys, have questions on the budget amendment?
No.
Is that a resolution here?
And it will be resolution number 624.
I need a motion for resolution 624.
So moved.
Thanks, Rick. I need a support.
I'll support.
Any other questions? Okay, we're gonna have a roll call. Rick,
Yes.
Jordan,
Aye.
Shannon.
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
thank you. You wanna go, Jordan? We can go through your stuff and then get back onto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was wondering if you guys have any additional information where the process is at for that North End Main Street? You know, like what's the next stage? You have dates, you know, if you gotta get bids or anything like that, you know, road, all that stuff, curb and gutter, or what, you know, kind of what you guys are gonna do there.
I got this update right before the meeting, let me tell you. So it's Mark Schaefer, right, Carol? Mark Schaefer is the contractor, right? Yeah. So he's waiting for, this is coming from Gary Kurth. By the way, just let me say that, is waiting for the storm pipe to arrive. He thought it was supposed to be delivered last week. Mark needs it to deliver this week since he wants to start working on it next week. Also, we need the rain to stop for a little while. He will work on the grading too. He is still waiting for paving quotes. They will be sending final documents to Underground Connections.
So like there's a lot of dirt work and stuff you gotta do out there yet? Or is it just what's out there?
No,
Yeah, it's quite a bit of
I
dirt
think
work
there's a
yet.
lot of dirt work.
We were waiting for the county to figure out what that whole road,
Oh,
because
yeah.
of the bridge,
connect to
the
the
height,
highway.
and connecting to the highway there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know where, we finally got the go-ahead on that, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, the storm,
that took months.
yeah.
Which was that like a mistake with the engineer? Or, you know, just as far as following the state law or whatever the code?
I don't think so, from what I know, from what Gary said. And I think I read that last meeting. I think I had that update last meeting for you guys, but I can see. Just a second.
No, this Iowa Department of Transportation is who we had to connect with because it's a state highway. They just, after seeing it, had some concerns about traffic coming out into the road.
Oh,
Maybe there'd be
after-
some
Yeah.
vision concerns.
Yeah.
They're worried about the height of that guardrail at the bridge, causing issues with the vision, so cars coming out. They wanted to either lower that guardrail or we had to raise the road up a little bit. So they were sorting all of that out.
So you guys say you think that area will be like completed by fall or winter?
I don't have a timeline from Gary or Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's our plan.
We
That'd be the
were
hope.
hoping it was to be done
Yeah.
already.
Or?
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah,
I email them every week or every other week asking for an update where things are at
Yeah.
on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any more information with the community center? By chance, like where,
What specifically questions do you have?
like, are you guys set to build this fall or?
We are not. The insurance claim is not settled yet. So we got a reply from the insurance company, ICAP. And now the ball is in our court to decide if we're gonna accept that or if we're gonna continue back and forth with our public adjuster. Until we accept that, we've been advised not to do anything to this building or new building because it could jeopardize our insurance claim. So we've been kind of at a standstill to do anything, until it's settled.
So like they gave an offer then?
They gave an original offer in March of last year that sort of started this whole process.
Yeah.
And we didn't agree with that. So then we hired our adjuster and now they've gone back and forth and they've given an offer, in the last, 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
Of what they, after we had all independent assessments done and our council is on the agenda today to decide or try to decide what they want to do. If they want to continue or if they want to accept.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, how much is that costing to have a lawyer like that?
Well, it's not in the lawyer, the public adjuster, you mean?
Yeah, yeah.
The public adjuster contract receives 10%. If anything above and beyond what we originally received as a claim from the insurance company. So if we never received anything more from the insurance company, they would get $0.
Oh, okay.
And if we receive anything more, they get 10% of whatever our total insurance claim settlement is.
Could be a good thing with that.
Correct.
mm-hmm.
Okay, do you know, like, would ICAP still insure Inwood after all this?
I mean, they are our insurance right
Yeah,
now.
currently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's good.
For this building, in fact, right now. Mhm. And we have to renew, that's coming up, and so that's another conversation that's on the agenda for today to decide if we want to continue with ICAP or explore other insurance carriers.
Is ICAP, that's a pretty popular one for towns and stuff?
For smaller communities, yes. Because it has a very low premium. Affordable, it's very affordable.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to have a suggestion too, is, so like the property tax abatement. I really think you guys should look into that, kind of like a yearly thing. Look over the data on houses being built, whether duplexes, apartments, whatever it is, just over, I think like over the last 15 years, just off the top of my head, like I mean, we're probably lucky if we got one, maybe 1.5 at the most, houses being built a year. I think if you're looking at that and we're getting by with one house a year, you know, trying to raise that would definitely help. You know, we're getting 2-3 houses built a year, you know, that's more revenue for the town. You know, as far as property tax abatement, I think Inwoods is outdated by ways. You know, it has, what is it, 75, up to 75,000, 100% off for 7 years. So up to 75,000, you know, nowadays, as far as, you know, inflation and costs and building a new house, you know, especially out in Rebecca Lane, I mean, you're looking at, I know a lot of them are valued around 400,000. And when you go only up to 75,000, it's really not a perk or anything. It's like Hall, and I don't know if they still do it, but they were giving those lots away for free, you know, just to get people to move in. And I don't know if they had anything as far as their property tax abatement, but free lots, that's a huge incentive. Like Rock Valley, they have a 5-year deal. Year 1, 2, and 3, it's 100%. And then year 4 is 70%, and year 5 is 30. And they also give out, there's a credit card or something that's $7,500, and then there's, I don't know, they call them something bucks or something, that's another $7,500. So they give, you know, just quite a bit of incentives, and I think be pretty good just for you guys to kind of look at. I did see, so at the last meeting, I think, Becky, you nominated, or Erwin is part of the Board of Adjustment.
He was appointed by the council.
Yep, and I think Erwin would be really good on it, but I was just looking up that whole Board of Adjustment, and it was saying that, you know, you can't be in the business of purchasing or selling real estate. So I don't know, you know, kind of how that works, if he's building a duplex, selling it to make money. Myself, I don't know how he can be on it if he's doing that. And I think Jason Kudum is on it too, who's also part of real estate. That was just a point I just wanted to make. I mean, I think those two would be really good on it, but if you're following that ordinance, I don't know how they can be, myself. So I kind of have also with that some ordinance issues. Obviously, there's that fence that we just installed, that there was a complaint for that. You know, the day that it was installed, there's a complaint, but just next door, there's a garage built 2-3 years ago, no permit. There's another fence that you can see from all sides, all streets, that didn't have a permit, is steel, and is 8 foot tall, and is inside, you know, not outside, like it specifies, and that was put up like 2 years ago. And then I heard that there's like a 2-year plan with that fence. That I'm not really sure what this 2-year plan is with this other fence.
I don't know what the 2-year plan is either.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, are you talking about the property behind Eric's?
Yep.
On the Oak Street side?
Yep.
Yeah. The only thing I know about that, I actually talked to Gerald earlier today, was that that issue was raised quite some time ago with that fence. And the person was talked to about changing that fence, and there's a plan in place to change that fence. But I haven't had any conversation with that property owner. So my plan is to talk with that property owner and get some more specifics on the plan, so we can follow up with it as the ordinance indicates that we should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another fence in town because, you know, that one was just replaced. There's another fence that there's no permit for. You know, and I'm not complaining. Like, this ain't me complaining, you know, about all that stuff. That's for you guys to decide. But then, you know, as far as ordinance goes, there are multiple tree ordinance violations around town, plenty of pool violations. I mean, enough to really notice. You know, I mean, no fences around them. Gerald Brands, his next door neighbor, not a word, was really said. There was no complaints. But then, the day we put up this fence, there's a complaint. It's just, it's weird because there's no complaints elsewhere, you don't see it in the paper that there's a complaint. And then the day that that's put up, there's a complaint. I find it odd.
Yeah, and I can't speak, I'm so sorry, I can't speak to any of the stuff that happened before. I can tell you that when I was notified about the fence, I followed up with it because that was the first time that I was ever notified about a violation. So you telling me that there's all these violations around town, that's helpful for me because that's my job as the mayor, is to go and follow up with these folks and make sure that they understand what the ordinance is so that they can get into compliance. But I can't do it if I don't know. And I want to be able to drive around town and see all of those things, but I don't have that ability to do that. So if you see those things and you can help me and point them out to me, I'm happy to follow up with them, or you can call the office and let Carol know and she'll relay those concerns to me. I will follow up with them, I promise, just like I did on that property and that I intend to do with the property on Oak Street. I just was gone this weekend, so I didn't have an opportunity to do that. But, in terms of everything else, I know in the past, and Mark, I'm sure this happened to you. I don't know if it happened to you yet, you're not Chad, Rick. But we've been asked as city councilmen to go and talk to people who are in violation of certain codes. I know we've talked to dog owners before that haven't been in violation of that code, those sorts of things. It's kind of all of our responsibility to follow up on code violations. But if we don't see them or hear about them, then it's hard to do something about it. We were actually just talking right before the meeting about a code violation that we saw with a golf cart. So that needs to be followed up on. So if we see it, we'll follow up on it. But in terms of me personally, if I don't hear about it, I won't say anything because I don't know. But I will follow up on it if I do know. And we do have a protocol if we have violations that need to be followed, that we will follow.
Okay.
We did hire that person.
We
outside.
did. The Northwest folks,
Yeah.
yes. We hired so last meeting, you might have seen too, we hired Northwest Planning, yeah, Northwest Planning. They did a nuisance abatement right before I got on council 8 years ago. And they're an independent company that comes and does an assessment of every single property, business, commercial, residential, all of them, against our code book. No one is exempt from it. I'm not exempt from it. No one on this council is exempt from it.
Commercial property?
All of them, yes. They look at every single property against our code, and then they note everything. They write it all up, and then those violations are then given to the owners. Not a renter, but an owner of a business or an owner of a property.
Well, because I remember Gerald said, when he was still mayor, that commercial property didn't matter.
We have ordinances for commercial properties, and they did that. I remember that they did that when I came onto council. It was just finishing that process, and I remember business owners, commercial properties did have things that they had to take care of.
Weeds, junk vehicles,
Yes, that was done. I remember that.
Things in alleyways by,
Yeah.
our main business.
Yeah.
There's a lot of alleyways for that, things in there, things like that.
Mhm.
Well, then, I guess I'm just confused, like, why would Gerald say that then?
I don't.
The commercial property didn't matter, this is when you're a council member.
Yeah,
But no one said nothing like, well, doesn't matter, you gotta follow along with all residences and all that. But no one said nothing about it.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know why no one said anything. I don't know why I didn't say anything, but company was hired to do that for us so that we could enforce those rules. And everyone felt like I felt like it was effective, even though I was coming on at the tail end of it, which is why they were hired again. And they'll be coming in June to do that. That's actually on the agenda also, to talk about how we're gonna notify everyone in town that they're coming, so people are not surprised by these folks coming around.
So how much is that gonna cost?
We have that number. I do not recall.
We estimate maybe 4,000 to 5,000.
Yes.
4,000 to 5,000?
I think that's on the high end.
I just remember in the past, I mean, this is way long ago when my other grandpa, George Holman, when he was mayor, I mean, he handled all that stuff himself. You know, they didn't hire anything out.
Yeah. I would love to do that. I cannot. I don't have the time to do that, working a full-time job and all of those things. But again, it's also partly done because we all live here and we all have family and friends here. And while it is our duty to act professionally as public servants and communicate any of those violations to the people of town, it can be really complicated and it can cause some problems. And so for a lot of reasons, Jordan, we decided to hire this company to do this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying myself, you know, if you're just following the ordinance and just talking to people, I don't see how you would be a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
We've never been.
I would love for that to I would love for that to be how it was. Not
I
everyone's as
remember-
nice as you.
I remember standing there with your grandpa George, and he used the word junk. And the property owner had a meltdown. Junk? This is good stuff. It was the funniest thing to us, but not to that property owner. To us, it was pure
Let 'em
junk.
Calm down. And
Yeah.
Some people
It
are.
was not fun.
Yeah. Some people are very kind and courteous and understanding. They didn't realize that they had a violation even. But some people get really upset, and that's understandable. But
They don't always see
yeah,
the violation.
yeah, it's just
Mhm.
It's just a difference in people.
No, because, yeah, when I moved to town, I didn't know anything about ordinances,
Yeah.
nothing. It wasn't until I started working for the city that I read through all of that and found out a lot.
mhm.
You know, I mean, just one deal, you know, when you guys get building permits, I think it'd be really good for you guys to have the city guy go out and double check to make sure everything is done kind of how it
On
should
the
be.
permit.
I mean, we just did a cement job here in town and found out that they tied into the sewer with gutters going down. You know, it's a violation. You can't have all that water going right on into the sewer. But I think that'd be really good to have, you know, Jamie or whoever go around and just double check,
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
that they do that. And then just the last kind of few things, so I read the minutes of the meeting a lot, you know, as often as I can. I've missed some, you know, in the paper. And I've been at meetings, a lot of meetings before, where I just don't think that they're accurate. And I think there's a lot of things that people here in Inwood should be aware about, just the public, because it adds a little bit perspective. And it's not included. And just some things kind of off the top is, you know, and this kind of pertains to the ordinance issues too, is that how can you go after residents with ordinance violations if, you know, you guys yourself, and I'm not saying all of you, but some of you are violating those same ordinances? You know, just for an example, you know, clerk had a tree covering the sidewalk for years. You know, nothing was really done about it all the way up until, you know, finally that got trimmed, cleaned up. You know, Bucket, you had that hot tub sitting out for 9 months. And then the fourth came around and you moved it around the corner behind the garage. Meanwhile, all at the same time, you're handing out certified letters, people violating. I mean, we even got a certified letter after trimming some trees and the branches were down on the ground 2 weeks later. I don't see how that's fair myself. You know, how can you enforce that as our local leaders? I think another big thing too is, I found out not too long ago, I was still working for the city, that there's a former employee still on a business account. And I've talked to a couple other towns and they said, no, any former employees, they're off. So, and I'm sure you remember that, Becca.
I do not.
You know,
Who is that? I don't recall.
it was on the Baumgart's
Oh, yes.
business account.
Yes, now I do recall. Yes.
So, wondering, I mean, did you ever get any information on that?
Yes, that was him.
Yes. After we were made aware. Mm-hmm.
No. Because Gerald told me that, well, it's a former employee, it's okay, not a big deal. But, what was charged? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Other than that, like, as far as the minutes of the meeting, where I really want to make a point is that I called League of Cities, talked to them. They told me that one council member can say, hey, put everything in the paper. It only takes one. You can say as mayor, one council member. I think to keep transparency with the public, I think as much as you can put in the paper to do it. I think it'd be really helpful because when I did my letter to the editor, there's quite a few people that called me, texted me, whatever it was, that said, thanks for just kind of informing us on some of this, because we had no idea what's going on, kind of the rough price of what that's going to be. I think public kind of has a right to know on some of that stuff. Communication.
Agreed. I'm all for transparency and communication. So I don't know if I don't know if I find value in a full transcription in the Westline Herald. I feel like that might be a little
Yeah,
extra.
word for word, definitely.
Yeah.
But as long as, even if it's bad information, good information, whether it makes a council member look bad, a city employee, I think it should be in there.
I do want to say though, I have to give us a little bit of credit. Before I was on council, we didn't stream any meetings. No one ever attended. It was done in an hour or less.
Oh, yeah. No.
And so I do need to say that we've made leaps and bounds progress in terms of those things and trying to get more information out and trying to communicate a little bit better.
Yeah, I think the video is awesome.
So just acknowledging the fact that we're taking steps in the right direction there.
Yeah.
And everyone is always invited. I know that it's hard. Everyone's super busy, but everyone's always invited to attend the meetings, to hear and participate.
Mm-hmm.
Is what we are talking about.
No, that's it.
Is there anything else from you? Thank you for coming.
I just hope you guys kind of consider some of the stuff, just the property tax abatement, Board of Adjustment. Like I said, I think Jason and Erwin, they'd be great on it, but I don't know how you can have them on it with that. Now, if you guys end up changing that, by all means, but you got to follow the ordinances. You guys got to set an example so then other people follow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Agreed. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Thanks,
Have a
Jordan.
good night. Okay, let's progress here. Carol, your office report. Any overdue water bills greater than 30 days? Okay. Any questions, anybody on that? Okay, any other notes on the budget? Okay. Paperless billing and payments for utilities.
We're getting closer, Shannon.
I don't know if I believe you, Carol.
Can you give us an ETA? Do we have an ETA yet?
Not exactly, so.
The contingency list.
I'm saying about halfway through.
Okay, awesome.
And I got a couple of thank yous that I want to put out there.
Yes, please.
First of all, thank you to the Inwood Kiwanis for all their work on cleanup day. Cleanup day went really well again this year. It was busy. So we used 4 dumpsters for household items. And again, we don't like that word junk, but there's nothing else to describe the extra stuff you have in your house and want to get rid of. But 4 dumpsters there, 2 dumpsters for appliances, and 1 dumpster just for electronics.
Wow.
So, and thank you, excuse me, to Herm Sanitation. We weren't expecting so many appliances, okay? Usually the scrapper picks that up.
Yep.
And so we were quite surprised. Earlier in the week, items disappeared, but then Wednesday, Thursday night, nothing disappeared. So he scrambled, he brought another dumpster in and made it all work. And we want to say thank you to Lyon County Riverboat Foundation for the $3,000 mini grant for the picnic tables. We were lucky this year. And a thank you to Caleb DeJager for all his work on our alleys. He spent several hours
Yeah.
on the alleys, and he just basically charged us for the rent on that.
Machine, was it, yeah, attachment or whatever, yeah.
And I don't know what you call
Yeah.
that attachment.
Yeah.
But that was interesting to watch.
They looked really nice. He got a lot done too.
He did. We didn't think he was gonna do all the residentials, but he did. So he just kind of got going on it. Had a lot of people watching and checking him out, asking questions, so that was good.
I had only,
Why do you laugh? Are you one of them? No?
I'd only known that he was gonna do the business area, so Jamie and I had made a point to let all the business folks know that that was the plan, so that if, in case it was gonna impact them that Saturday, that they were aware. But then he ended up getting all over town, so I didn't know to notify everybody that that was happening, but I think it was okay. He moved pretty quickly, and so hopefully we
Yeah.
didn't hear any complaints about any of that.
You missed our alley.
He did.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Mine got done.
Good job.
Yeah, it was good. Any other thank yous for that?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Natalie, you're up.
Yes. Okay. Well, this week one thing I will be doing is getting keys for the kids club people. Was asked to do that. Another thing that I'm going to be working on, I wouldn't say they're complaints, but people just are some people are having a hard time hearing with this. So I am going to look into little microphones. Got to figure out how to work that into having that, but that's on my agenda for this next couple weeks. I have orientation packet for council. I will give this to you after I make another copy tonight. And then community center stuff.
How's that coming?
Good.
Okay. Do you have a list of who has fobs yet?
No.
Okay.
Because on this sheet that I've been kind of going off of, it was under Carol, so I highlighted it.
Yeah,
So I put it on.
I
that
moved
was-
it, since you were
yes.
doing the policy, I bumped it up to
Yeah,
your
so I apologize.
No, that's okay.
With that, the community event that we're planning, every year guards have orientation and I kind of introduce myself and I will just kind of get kind of a head count of who will all be available on when to set that date. I'm nervous if we do it too much later than like the end of July, if we'd have enough help for that, if there's a lot of people. So that's just something that I'll be touching base with Maria and Ann at orientation.
I added, I don't know if you saw this, I added the list of Inwood committees to your task. So I had a council person request the list of Inwood committees that we have and all of the members on those committees and their designated leaders.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, I would ask that you get a document put together of all of the committees. It should be pretty easy because I think they're on the website already. Yeah, and then just put together who's on each and then their leader, vice president, whoever that is, for the next meeting.
Okay.
Can you add that to your list?
You want like a printout? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else, Natalie, on your stuff?
Not really.
Okay. Anything else you guys have for Natalie? Questions, things you want to know, concerns you have?
Now, I didn't know also if you wanted like everybody to have a copy or if you just want like a hard draft copy yourself
So
to start with.
I would love for us all to have it.
Okay.
And to look at it.
Okay.
So we can provide some input on what would be helpful when you started council.
Okay.
6 months ago. Okay.
Now there are a few things in here that I have to incorporate yet. So, but this is just a majority of everything that'll be in there.
Can you have that emailed to us in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Your laptop, have you made any progress on that?
That'll be coming. So Cybrek is finishing up with the software because I set it up all through them. Instead of us purchasing the laptop, they are going to take care of it. And I gave them, you know, our price point of where we want to be at with that. So I didn't get a chance to call them today.
Okay.
I was out of the office, so. But that's on my list for tomorrow. I'll be here most of the day tomorrow. So.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Anything else you guys have? Okay. Thanks, Natalie.
Yep.
Approval of the consent agenda, minutes from April 8th and 17, the treasurer report and the list of bills. Anything else you guys? No.
This shear cord then is still with,
That's a degreaser that we put into the sanitary. Put some in the south end of Main Street. Main, that's our trouble spot.
okay, that just helps flow with it or something?
Yeah. Otherwise, there's some grease that builds up in that one for whatever.
Degreaser, okay, gotcha.
It's a granular.
I was gonna ask Jimmy about that power washing the pool. What parts or what did they do with power washing?
The sides and the floor.
Okay.
You don't keep water in it, so then you have a lot of scum and just cleans it up. So we started out doing the power washing ourselves, but that floor is just so slippery. That it kind of became a little bit of a liability issue. And so then we started having a contractor. It looks good. You know, if you see the before and the after, it looks good.
It's amazing how dull it is, and they put water in it, and it just, the colors pop. It is really weird.
Mhm. Yeah, filling that pool generated a lot of discussion, didn't it? Hoping summer's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, I know Jamie spent a lot of time going over all that, trying to get the chemicals and stuff figured out and all that. Sunday afternoon, he was over there trying to make sure things were balancing out.
I tried to assure him that every year we go through this. It's not just me, no, it's every year. To get that right balance, it's a trick. And it's never the same problems every year.
No.
So they replaced, like parts on the controller. It's just kind of an annual maintenance thing. And so they worked on all that, just to make it up to snuff.
You guys have any comments on the agenda, minutes, treasurer's report? The bills? No,
I'll move to accept.
thank you. Can I guess, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, old business. Our nuisance abatement, do we have a date yet for that?
Well, he never sets a specific date, he just says sometime.
In June. So I want to tell people that this is happening. I want to give them a heads up. So I'd like your guys' thoughts on how to tell people. Do you want a letter to go out in everyone's mailbox? What do you think is the most appropriate?
Probably the most thorough.
Yeah.
There's not enough people on text messaging, there's not enough people on Facebook. A letter's gonna be.
I don't think that people see their water bill, like the little line item on the water bill. I don't think they pay attention enough to that.
It's gonna have to be a letter to hit everybody, it's gonna be the best route.
I agree.
Is that okay?
Yes,
Okay.
that's gonna be better than Facebook or,
I mean, you
The
can put it on
newspaper.
Facebook and you can do those
yeah, you
things.
can do that as well.
That's right.
Yeah, right. But I don't want them to have someone coming by that they are wondering what you're there for and then they get something in the mail. I don't want that.
Why is there a guy taking pictures of my house?
Right.
My lawn yard and stuff like that?
Right.
I would rather give them a warning so they take care of the issue
Right.
before this guy comes.
Right.
Yeah.
It will save us money.
It
Yeah.
would save us money and a lot of hassle.
Do they offer any sort of like notice or template that they would give to
I
us?
don't know, I can check.
Will you check and see and then otherwise you guys can draft something and get that
Or
out?
maybe kind of put the best examples of what he's looking for, that he sees the most issues with. Maybe we could put that in a letter and just so they know. I don't know, just a thought.
You know, one spot that I hear complaints on that the property owner doesn't think about is they live on an alley. They hide their stuff on the back side of their garage.
Mhm.
So they can't see it, think it's okay, but the neighbor can.
Mhm.
Their windows look right out at that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Really? Maybe I better look, huh? But, that's one thing
Okay,
that people could correct on their own.
sure. Okay, so we'll do a mailing to everyone before, sometime right before June, so in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hopefully give them a couple weeks
yeah,
heads up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice now they can get outside.
Yeah. okay. Yeah, I don't want us to do the mailing like the second week of June and they've already been here.
Yeah.
That was not as effective either, so if we can make a plan to do that before, that would be great. Okay. Anything else on that you guys have? Okay. Funding or the community center project. So this is the update from last month. I have just been forwarding you guys the emails so that you're all aware of where things are at in the process. So the most recent update I got on Friday, I haven't sent to you, I don't know, but I will, is from our adjuster, our structural engineer, and our architect. They all connected, had a conference call, and talked about what we got back from ICAP. And essentially said, here's the items that we don't agree with from ICAP. These are the codes and the things that we don't agree with. And here's why. This building code and this X, Y, and Z. It still doesn't mean that they are going to give us more money and that they're going to say, yeah, you're right. They can say whatever they want, basically. So with that being said, I'm at the point where it's been a year and a half and the community is at the point where it's been a year and a half. And we are missing a building and a space. And I don't know what to do anymore. So I don't know if we continue down this path of back and forth, potentially not increasing our insurance claim anymore, or if we accept a settlement and try to make the best of this and get something up. We have we don't have any bids, we don't have anything. It's still going to be a good chunk of time before there's a space, but.
So that's my question. What they're questioning is the difference in between ICAP and them. Are you talking like 1,500,000 or are you talking closer to 500 to a million?
$500,000, at least $500,000.
My whole thing is, not that I want to scrap this year, but if we can't get anything in place anyways this year, do we take that time to still try to work with them for, until we have to start something for next year?
That's a good question. I mean, Eric, our architect, had originally said the best time to bid is January for projects to start in the spring because everyone's hunting for work. However, the longer we wait, the more expensive everything gets. So he said, when I talked to him, that you're looking at least a 5% increase every year you delay this.
But in regards to be bidded now for next year,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
more
that
expensive.
5%.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not gonna pay what they're paying now.
Right.
It's gonna be next year. For me, $500,000 is a lot of money.
If you read what they came back with, they basically said that we don't have to do anything to this building. This building is fine. Nothing is needed. That's what that reply was from the insurance company.
I got the feeling that they thought that it could possibly need to be demolished. I thought that one line of that said it was, maybe I read it wrong, but it was like, they're not gonna rule out the fact that it may need to be completely demolished to restart over.
I didn't get that.
Did you feel that came from the public adjuster or the insurance
The
company?
insurance, I thought.
Was that in an email lately that you've gotten?
It would have been lately.
It was when they came back with it was the email that they
1.5.
sent there.
very lengthy line item rebuttal.
How can you go from one thing saying there's nothing wrong with it to going, yeah, we gotta take it and demolish it? That's two bigger streets.
Mhm.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah. I did not find that, and our insurance adjuster did not discuss that with me at all. We talked about the ICAP insurance, saying that this building meets the 2015 Iowa building codes and doesn't need any modifications, even though that building collapsed. Because per Iowa building codes of 2015, it doesn't discuss snow loads. It talks about wind and one other thing, another natural element.
Earthquake loads.
Yes. And so that's the loophole, essentially.
Yeah.
And our adjuster and our structural engineer, he was independent. This is not said that, that really is a true loophole, because if it should be included, the snow load, they missed it in the 2015 code, and then in 2018 added it in to that same clause. So it was a true oversight in the 2015 code.
So why does the 2015 apply? Not
Because we, as a building, have adopted that code unless we explicitly voted to accept and fall under the 2018 code, is what our adjuster has said. You would have to make that very specific election, and it would need to be to hold weight, essentially, for a fight.
So we can be stuck.
Well, and part of the timing issue is the fact that we can no longer have a bond vote in March and spring. The only bond vote, the only time we can have a bond vote is November.
Yeah,
So
do you
we're
want a
gonna have-
bond?
Yeah, we either, if we're going to, we either have to make a call and put it in November, or we're another year out then, if we're gonna have to bond money. You know,
I have-
then we're into 26 before anything gets put up.
And I did ask our architect for phases that we could conceivably do with the money that we actually have on hand and the money that we could have if we bonded, but we would be at our debt limit. Like, it is a very risky decision to do that. Not even that it would pass, but to max out, you guys know this, you are adults, to max out your debt is not a smart move. So I just
You
don't,
need to leave a cushion.
I just don't know,
No.
I don't know what to do. And I'm glad.
Plus you have the payment.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. I don't know.
So you were talking that there's still 400 some thousand that is not in that accounted for?
So they increased our claim to the 1.5. That is like the minimum now. So you remember they came to us back in March and they said, we're giving you 1.2. That's what this is for. So then our adjuster, they did all their negotiations and they said, oh wait, we missed some things. ICAP said, oh, we missed some things. So now it's up to 1.5. So they have now sent a check to our adjuster, because it all goes through our adjuster to then come to us for $466,000. The extra increase
So that is in here or
is
It is.
in here. Yes. So that's why I asked Carol if she had received it, because our adjuster has it for 400, and I can tell you, it's in that email I sent you guys, but I'm sure there's so many emails that I send you guys with this update.
So of this number that we have, do we owe our adjuster any money? Or
Yep.
what is, where will that come from, or is that part of this?
They take their cut
They,
first.
they take it from what we receive.
But is there an out of this, or is this a true number that we have to use?
This is our total pledges, total grants, all of it,
Total
That's,
insurance settlement?
total insurance settlement, everything.
this is our number. This includes paying the adjuster.
No,
Oh,
The adjuster comes out of
the,
this number, yeah?
Comes out of that.
the adjuster comes
Take
out of
that.
this number,
Okay, and do we know what that is?
10%?
10%.
Well,
From,
not 10,
No,
No,
from the
that's-
insurance
no.
claim, so at 1.5 million.
so 150,000.
but I thought it was over and above what the insurance originally offered. They get 10% over and above what the insurance originally offered.
They get
10% of the entire claim.
of the entire claim.
Yeah.
So if they got
So we got
us
900.
$5 more than 1.2 million, they would get 10% of 1.2 million and $5.
So essentially what happened is the insurance adjuster got us, the public adjuster, I'm sorry, got us an extra $466,000. They're gonna take like 150,000 of that. So their work that they did gained us $300,000 on top of the original adjustment. So it wasn't all for nothing. We got an extra 300 grand that we wouldn't have had otherwise, but it's still a chunk that we're paying.
Their cut was of the difference that they got us. It's of the total settlement.
Yeah, it's the total settlement.
But now with this number, we can move forward with the grants that we couldn't before because we didn't have enough, correct?
We've always had a number of how much we have. We need, so we, for the large grant, I think you're
One
referencing,
with the state.
yes, the one that Dune got,
Yes.
you have to have 65% of your project funds secured. So if we say our project is $5 million, we need to have 65% of $5 million secured before we can apply for that grant. If we change our scope to be a $3 million project, then we have 65% of our $3 million project and we could apply for that grant. Does that make sense?
Yep, got that now. Yep. That was basically the only one.
That is that's the biggest one.
And some of those other grants, sorry to interrupt, they do want completion date
Right.
or start date, some of them,
All
so
of them.
all of them.
You just kind of estimate.
Yeah.
It's not like they're gonna hold it to. They all wanna know, they wanna know when their money is needed.
Yeah, because they need to plan too. I mean, it all affects, they need to hand out money at a cadence so that they can write off. So,
I talked. Has anybody been approached Sanford, the casino, of making a larger amount? If their name is on it, part of it, you know, like the pool that is what, 800 some thousand, for the project. Is anybody, I mean, there, I really don't care who it is. The elevator, whoever, has anybody like that been approached?
yeah, I mean, I sent an email at the very beginning to Sanford. Made a pitch and they directed us to their community fund that we applied for that 20,000. But it was kind of I didn't get a seat at the table, so to speak. I gotta go here to this website and apply there, you know what I mean? Probably be more effective at Grand Falls where we have a little bit of a relationship, unless you guys have people in high places at any of these, you know? I mean, it's not, I don't think that any stone should ever be left unturned. Yeah. Yeah. If we don't ask for it, we'll not get it. So I'm not above asking for handouts and letting someone put their name on a building. It's fine. I'd love to have your name on the building if the building can stand.
So would it be possible to build a gym without doing the necessary structural work on this piece?
Is it possible? Yes. Do I feel comfortable with that? No.
Now, wasn't there something with the email too, though, if we did go forward with this roof part, I thought there was like $500,000 more we could get out of it.
Mhm.
So that is an option. So what does this roof cost to redo?
$500,000.
So they would give that to us.
On top of the.
The biggest,
Already gave.
yeah, the biggest thing that they cut out was anything to take care of this structure.
Mhm.
Like, they essentially said, we didn't need to do the columns, we didn't need to do the purlins, any of those things. Those were not needed. And we needed to have, if we got a expert evaluation assessment of it, then they would consider that. So our adjuster and structural engineer are working together to get that put together to send back to them. It's a lot more work than what originally was done, so that's going to happen anyway in reply to our insurance carrier, but this is just going to continue, and I don't know when enough is enough. And I read through the survey today, and it was very apparent that people want a building.
Yeah.
And they're kind of, I mean, I don't know.
But with these type of funds, what kind of building can we get? That's the question.
We can definitely give them the building that we have.
I do have to interject. There have been comments from people in the community saying, if we don't scale back on that price point, I'm not donating. It's just, I've just heard, it's sometimes a high number for people.
That is a ton of money.
Yeah,
For sure.
I have heard that, so I don't know if that's something you guys want to look at or. And that was from people with deeper pockets than mine, of course, but.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I think, by all means, we should look at, and I think you said you already did that, either phases or cutting out a few things or whatever we need to do.
Yeah, I asked Eric, our architect, to tell me what we can get for $2.5 million. Tell me what we can get for $3.5 million. What makes the most sense? Knowing he knows what we all want. He knows what we hope to someday have. What can we actually do? So.
And he can do that, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
He is gonna do that for us? or-
Yeah, I asked him for that.
Okay, how long do you think about?
I actually don't know. They had their meeting on Friday, so I'm hoping maybe a week or two. We talked about having a meeting Memorial Day weekend, nobody could go, so it's like the worst time for everyone, so. Yeah, so hopefully after that, we'll get a meeting together. But in the meantime, I'm not quite sure. So do we just wait for the phases from Eric and see, or do you,
I think I would like to see first what he comes up with, what we can do for 2.5 or 3.5. And if we get something functional, then we can make a decision at that point.
Okay,
Yeah, we really need to think, we have to think about the long term of the community, but we also have to, be good stewards of the money that we have and
Yeah.
get the most bang for our buck while meeting the needs that we have today. And we good to have plans to grow into the future, for sure, but we need to get this building taken care of as soon before next winter would be ideal,
Mhm.
you know, so we don't have to worry about it.
When you say this, but you're talking here.
Yeah.
on the Roof.
Yeah, the roof and stuff figured out, that's a high priority, and then we can, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. But no, I mean, if we could move from that, get the roof secure so that we don't have to worry about it over winter if we have 12-inch snow, and then move forward with getting a gym, getting a new meeting room, you know, and that type of facility on the end of this. You know, I think that's what people want.
Yeah.
So if we can get a number, we can get that done for 2.5, 3. And we're not that far from 3.
That's the thing with dues grant, is that at any time we can put in for it? Is it only certain times?
Rolling, constant. I get emails every month.
Okay, and that's just a set dollar amount? They go by how much you're doing? Is it a percentage?
It varies, it's very significantly. They award hundreds of thousands of dollars, they award $2,000, $20,000, it's very different, depends on the project.
Okay.
Mhm,
So you don't know?
mhm.
Very helpful.
I know.
I just figured-
I strive to be as helpful as possible.
Kind of this much from that.
Yeah.
You know, then you could,
And I don't know how much, actually I could look that up because it was posted, how much Dune applied for. But they got 450,000 or more. It was definitely 450,000.
350.
No, I think it was more than that, Carol. I'm almost positive. Mhm.
350 was a casino.
Yeah, they got a CAT grant for, I'm almost positive. But, they had to, I mean, they had to get funding from the Lyon County Board of Supervisors because that they needed to show that the county was also involved and supportive of it. Like, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. So, I'm not gonna spend time looking at it. It's 8:34
I
right
say,
now.
if we can get the phase, get the architect, get a phase, figure out where we can go for 2.5, you know, move forward from there. We're still plenty of time before, if we need to have a bond vote, to plan for that in November, which I hope we don't have to, but, you know, we don't want to put out bids until January. We've got time yet, but we need to move.
Yeah, we need to get.
We need to figure something from an architect that tells us what we can get for how much.
Yeah, their building was projected to cost 3.18 million and was awarded a CAT grant of $475,000. A $1.5 million bond issue passed in November. So they hand out millions of dollars, the CAT grant does. So it's worthwhile to apply, we just haven't been able to.
Well, and if we would get a number, you know, then we'll know.
Yeah, I mean, if Eric says this is a $3 million that you can do, and we have 2.2, then we can apply for a CAT grant.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, there's lots of ways we can design things differently and whatever.
okay. And we're tabling, okay, so then the next, quickly, insurance update. Not the accepting the claim from ICAP, we'll wait on that, if that's okay with everybody to wait to decide if we're gonna accept that.
Do they have an end date for that? That
No.
is an open date.
No, we'll just continue to go back and forth until we decide to either accept it or go to court. So if you're okay to table that until next month?
Yeah.
Okay. Just make a note, table to next month. Then we have to decide, she comes in June, right? We renew our insurance in June. That is next month. So I just personally, like, know that it's hard for insurance companies right now. They're dropping people left and right at businesses and organizations.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that is something that we can even do, to be totally honest. I don't know if someone will want to take us on in this building that had part of it collapse and all these things. I don't know, but I'm asking if you want us to look into it or if we continue for another year.
Like with an open claim like this, I think it'd be tough for any other agency to take it on. I'd be surprised if it would.
Yeah, that's gonna be really tough.
Yeah.
And also ICAP was very affordable. That's why we've had them for as long as we've had them.
I say write it out.
Yeah.
Go from there.
If we had more time between when we had to renew to research.
Maybe once we get something built,
Mhm.
you know, 'cause that's gonna change the whole value of everything. You know, then we can rebid at that point in time and see once we can get a better deal somewhere else.
You got
Yeah.
anything?
I like it.
I think
Jordan, I can see your head spinning.
No, I think we got it.
Wade? Okay. Okay. That was a fun conversation. Any updates on any of the grants, Carol? Do we hear anything? Okay. Can you check back in with the Sanford Health and find out when their timeline is to come back through? Okay, thank you.
Well, when we filled it out, it was,
I know.
could take months.
Yeah, could you just reach out and check in with them though, and just see? Okay. Okay,
Let's talk about it.
Kubota is a grant that one of our, committee members found through Kubota. And it was for $50,000?
They give out 10 50s and 10,000.
So we applied for it.
Across the whole country.
Somebody found a grant and we applied for it.
And so
That's what it
it's a
was.
long shot.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. We were gonna apply for the AARP one, weren't we?
Yeah,
I mean, anything we find. Let's see if we can apply.
We had to tell them how we were gonna use our Kubota equipment on this project.
Mhm, yeah.
So I told them Marilyn loves her lawnmower.
Yeah.
Snow removal,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's a lot.
Well,
Tilling, receiving, what's going on, painting, motor, yeah.
I did look, I don't have a list of grants that we should apply for, but the League of Cities has a like subpage for grants. So that, I'm gonna forward to Natalie and Carol. You can go in your
you can find it, yeah.
spare time and go through each
I
of
talked
those,
with lots of other clerks too. on
Yeah.
what they applied for.
see what we can unearth. And then needs versus wants lists, what does that mean?
That was mine, needs versus wants, just basically when all these grants comes up, I'm just curious, who comes up with the item that we're going after, where's it coming from? I would like to see like it needs, I mean, not from just us, the whole community, if something comes about, anything. But I want, we need this, well, this would be cool if we had this, and go a dollar amount, I know certain grants you get more and you don't get more, but it just seems like
Are you talking about the community center or just a grant in general?
anything,
Okay,
anything,
So I put it
like
in
the
the wrong
picnic
spot.
table one.
yeah,
Where did that come about? I talked to Jamie loves them because he says they're maintenance free, they're easy to move. He says, no, very good. I'm just wondering, where's the list? Who comes up with it? How much is on there? What's on there?
yeah.
Do we have anything on there?
I don't think we have, not that I'm aware of.
Since we don't have grant opportunities just flowing in, it's usually
That's,
just, yeah.
yeah, that's why I wanted a list. Hey, this month we got this grant. What's it for? How much is it? What can we apply for? Just be nice to have like a timeline. These grants are these months, these grants are only these quarters. You can only apply once a year for this one. That was my thinking of applying for anything and everything for anything, not just community center.
Sure. I'm gonna put that on Natalie's list
I just was seeing Rock Island grab 9 grants from the casino going, we got 1.
Yeah,
I know they're bigger and they had 3 different committees putting in for them too, but it's like, are we missing out on stuff just because we're not putting in for it?
Well,
So-
Becca,
No, we're not.
are people on the community center committee, are they open to writing grants?
So it'd be hard for us to do that because a lot of the grants ask for information that they don't have access to.
Okay.
Because it often requires funding information and those sorts of things, EI, and
Yep.
all that stuff that we don't have.
Okay.
But in terms of helping and supporting in any way possible, like if there was a letter of support that needed to be written or anything to that effect, of course, they would do that, and they have done that in the past.
Okay.
But I'm thinking what you're asking for, Jordan, is more so like, look like on the League of Cities or just in general, combing through what is open in a given month and what we could possibly apply for that we need to secure. So what's on the horizon is a basketball court and a pickleball court. Grants are open in September for that. So put that on the calendar, get all your ducks in a row, your estimates, all your things, and think through your funding so you're planning ahead to apply for a grant in September. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I like to see, you know.
Yeah.
This month we look at, okay, how far it takes, I don't know how long it takes to write a grant. I have no clue on that part, but
It takes Carol 10 minutes.
copy paste.
No, they're so
So that's my whole
complicated.
thing is how long, you know, I think every month we should be looking at, hey, what's up, what's available, what do we have, what do we gotta do? It just doesn't feel like that's been presented for anything.
No, I like that idea. I do. So what we'll talk about at our next one-to-one is how you can put that into your routine so that you're checking that, just like how you do your Tuesday tips and stuff like that, and what websites might be useful for you and who you could have for contacts and stuff. And Carol will help you, I'm sure.
I think that would help us out to have a little bit more money
Yeah,
for community stuff.
yeah, events, anything like that. There's like a beautification grant that I saw where they pay for paint for houses. They buy the paint because paint can be expensive for people. So, yeah, there's all sorts of stuff out there. Anything else to add on that? Okay. Flipping over,
Back to the mini grant,
oh yeah,
each tax ID number is allowed to apply for one.
oh,
So they got that many, huh?
Yes.
Cause I know that they said something about, and there's 3 different categories, the way I kinda was looking at that too, just through those grants.
Well, there's, I believe, 4 categories, and you select the one that best fits your project. But none of the grants are based on that. Many grants are strictly luck of the draw.
Oh, they just draw a name, oh, they just don't go through and pick what the ones they
It's,
want.
yeah, the software that just rolls it through.
Oh.
But the ones in the fall, the competitive grants, that, yes, they review each grant. That's where we apply for the bigger projects.
Okay. So like Kiwanis, they have their own EIN number, that's how they function off of? Or they just roll underneath ours?
Kiwanis has their own.
Okay. I'm just wondering if every group has their own, we could possibly, you
Well, you
know,
also have to be a nonprofit, 501c. And many of our community groups are not. They're nonprofits, but not the 501c3, so they don't always qualify.
then they apply under us.
okay.
So then we can't. Because they used it.
But if that's
Yeah,
something they need
Yeah.
for the community anyways, you know,
yeah.
that's kind of why one of those committees too. Hate to do it to them, but I don't hear nothing from the committees. Personally, I don't know all the committees that are, who has them.
I didn't either until I started just reaching out to people everywhere.
Mhm.
And I've been doing this for 8 years, Jordan, so you're doing well.
No, my whole thing is, not that I wanna see them, if they want to, it'd be awesome, but, no, well, what are you working on? You know, not every month or anything, but every quarter, once, you know, what are you working at? If there's something we can help you with,
Mhm.
you know? Just seems like we don't have any contact with our own committees in our own town.
Mhm.
We're always looking for new members. Then you would know.
Busy
Is there anything else on the grants you guys have? Any other comments or anything? Okay. The North End subdivision, so lots 4 and 5, you guys have a resolution, I believe. We have lots 1, 2, and 3. No purchase agreements on those. They are under our city ownership for sale. 4 and 5 do have purchase agreements. We do have the resolution for proposing the disposal of real estate to Overland Group and the notice of the public hearing for the sale of lots 2 and 3. That is in your packet. You guys want to look at that? Is it 724 now? Okay. So it's
624.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't number it, and then today I thought, oh, I can number that, and after I did it, I thought, oh, shit. Budget comes first
yeah,
on the agenda.
sorry. So
Which one is this then?
724. So this is setting, this is the proposal to sell it and set the public hearing.
This is the public notice.
Yes. This is not your decision to sell it. Okay?
Where are we doing?
Public hearing.
Okay. And the revised purchase agreement from them. I thought what they're on was good there.
Incorporated all of the edits that Mike was suggested, our attorney.
He was good with it? Okay. So this is just at our next meeting, right?
I'll move that we adopt resolution 724.
Support?
Support.
Rick?
Aye.
Jordan?
Aye.
Shannon?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, Board of Adjustment, just a reminder, the training date in June, what's the date on it? You know? Okay.
Not for sure.
Okay.
So the board adjustment, we are full staff, however you want to say that. Yeah. So the only one getting training is just Erwin, the new one, or they all are?
They all are, yeah.
Okay.
They all do the same.
Zoom, or how's that? what is
No,
So
someone
it's
will come
coming.
here,
it? Okay. Right.
Northwest.
the planning council.
Yeah. Northwest Planning.
Is that a concern that Jordan Holman brought up earlier? An issue?
You know, we've always just looked at real estate agents.
I'm not sure what exactly the ordinance is.
Mhm.
Well,
And part of my perspective on it is, I don't know how much of this is in the future for Erwin. You know, Erwin's, we've already got the approval done for a lot, he's already started building a lot. You know, there's no more issue that the Board of Adjustment would have with that. Unless during construction something would come up. You know, but then you would have to probably recuse himself, something like that, to go forward. But other than that, I don't think he plans on making this a permanent thing for him. This was just a one-time, build the townhouse and duplex, whatever, and be done. So I don't think it's a concern moving forward. Like I said, the only would be is if someone come up during the construction of what he's doing now. But I should confirm with the ordinance.
Well, to me, he wasn't appointed till after he already bought property.
Right.
So that
Yeah.
part is up,
Yeah.
I think is not, I do believe, yeah, if he is going forward, how many you got on that committee?
Should
You
be
know,
5. It says 5.
So is there a quorum of 3 then?
Yes.
So if he would excuse himself, if he does so in the future, or does it say point blank, he can't be on it?
I'm reading.
Sorry.
It's fine. Keep talking.
We can review that later. Let's keep moving.
Why, you don't want to stay overnight at city council? It's my favorite thing.
Didn't bring my blankie with.
Oh. I get a couple
We can just
towels.
review it.
Yeah.
Make sure before training,
Yeah.
it's confirmed.
Well, I'll visit with our planning council about it.
Okay.
Who was the other one you mentioned?
Jason put him.
Because he has rental property.
Okay, strategic planning, Wednesday. 2 days, you get to hang out here again. For strategic planning, you guys should have received all of the survey. Steve is going to put them together in a compilation with the themes and those sorts of things. So if you don't have time to read through every single response like I did, and you just want to read through the summary, he's going to provide that. But also just put on your broad shoulders and take it with a grain of salt, everybody. I mean, it's not reflective of you as a person, so don't take it personally. City code review. Did anyone get any of their sections done and have comments?
Yeah, a couple pages.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you have any comments on your couple pages? Anything?
Boring.
Yeah. City code is boring? Anyone else? Shannon or Jordan, did you guys have anything you wanted to discuss on your chapters?
There's a few things on mine. I got through all of mine. I
Nice.
don't know if you wanted me to do it now or not. So I wrote down what I believe needs to be changed, or brought to attention, I guess.
Okay.
Um,
How do you guys feel about having our code discussion at the next meeting? Is that okay?
That would be fine.
So you got your work
I'll
done,
keep 'em, yeah.
you got your
Keep my
work
notes.
done, and we'll cover them early on in the meeting next time. Is that okay? Unless there's anything burning. Is there anything burning?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And we already talked about the Faber Park. And you guys are gonna continue to look into that.
Yes.
And with Jordan, and kind of what he might be thinking and doing too. I talked to Chad, after he told me he couldn't be here about the four-way stop. He had talked to Stuart, and Stuart had said that he would draft or provide a letter of support. Did you receive that from him?
Not yet.
Okay. So that was gonna be coming. He had done that for another city and thought that would be the best path forward, is supporting that we get something changed at that four-way stop and drafting a letter to that regard. So that was what I heard from Chad. Anything to add, Mark, to that?
No.
Okay. Anything pool readiness, Mark and Shannon?
Yes.
Okay,
We have hired all the lifeguards.
okay,
We have 8 returning lifeguards and 7 new ones. Opening day will be May 29. May 23 and 24. The head guards will be at the guardhouse, which will be open, so people can sign up for swimming lessons and membership registration.
Is there a time that they'll be there? 23 and 24?
They will be there from 1 to 5:30,
Both days?
both days.
Okay.
And, what's that? Yeah, 23rd and 24th. Yep. And I'm trying to think what else we need. I think that was the main thing. The training of the new guards will be the 24th, starting the 24th, May 24th.
okay.
I have no idea details on those trainings. And
They're usually all day, Shannon,
And there, some is up here, right?
inside and at the pool.
Right.
so I believe Shayla will be training the new guards.
Yep.
So,
Good, thank you.
Anything else on the pool? Anyone have any questions on the pool, comments? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
City staff update, I got yours done literally 5 minutes before I came over here today, so I'm sorry. You don't have yours yet. But I got everyone else's done, the job description revisions, and all of them have them. And we are going to meet one-on-one to discuss any edits that they have, and then they will be, I've shared them with you, but there'll be possible edits for you also. And then what I would really love is to have the job descriptions and the performance plans ready for you guys to decide on next month. They're a couple pages, they're short, they'll be very short. So that's my plan, is to get with all of them, make sure everything is good, and then have ready for you guys for next month. The employee handbook, you should have received that. I made a whole bunch of edits to it. I shared it with all of you. Yeah?
No.
I can tell that you, are glossing over my emails by now.
I never received it.
You didn't either, okay. Okay, so I'll resend it tonight, so you guys have it. And there's comments like in the margins and things like that I made for everyone to look at and weigh in on. So please just feel free to make edits to it and comment on it, and then we'll discuss it at the next meeting, okay? Things about, sick leave and stuff like that. So I want you guys to take a gander at it. Anything else on that? Any questions you guys have? Okay, new business. Chad drew the short straw and is the chamber liaison. So.
Did you do that, really? Or is that a term of
I
endearment?
harassed them.
Okay.
I used the term. I harassed them, and was like, who wants to do it? Who's gonna do it? Mark, Chad, Mark, Chad.
I did send the question back. I have an answer, but I never moved with it from there.
Yeah, so Chad is going to be the chamber liaison. He said he did reach out to Todd to see if there had been any changes or updates, and there have not yet been. So no updates from the chamber in terms of progress with the appointments for their new board of directors or the lines. Second, we have an audit that's due anytime. That is a formal audit that comes from the state. They look through a bunch of stuff, our minutes and our accounts and all sorts of things, and they make recommendations. Our last one was in 2015, 2016, they are due every 8 years. Yeah.
They do it in 17.
Yeah.
For the
Yes, yeah. So I just wanted to put it on our radar, that make sure that we're in compliance with everything. Mark, you were on council with me when we got that report. Yeah, because I found it in my old stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's what happens when you're a hoarder. So I have that, but I'm sure you guys don't have it. Mark, you guys don't have it. So is that something that we share with them, or what do we need to do to prepare for that audit? Anything?
Nothing really, it's
Okay,
day to day.
okay. Okay,
They come here and do it for one time.
well, if you guys want it, I have it. And if you want to look at it, I can provide you with copies of it from 2015, 2016. It's up to you. You let me know. I reached out to every single club, committee, or organization that I could think of, just like I did last month. And the only one that had any updates for me was the Cub Scouts, and they are looking for community service projects. So if you, in your day-to-day, run into a community service project or a group that needs some very willing kids, reach out to the Inwood Cub Scouts. Sound good? All right. 4 was added on, and I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I just had, someone asked about all the lots on Rebecca Lane, and Chambers kind of in a tough spot right now, of course. So they were wondering about buying just a chunk of the ground, like way on the end of Rebecca Lane. There's like that, the city owns a bunch of development there. Then there's that piece that comes right next to Jordan's house. It's like almost an extra lot, little corner.
I think the Mermars will have that.
Okay.
Do they still own it, Carol? Do you know?
We own it. Is it being farmed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so,
They rent
It
it
hasn't
or
been-
however.
right.
Okay. Because the city owns like 13 acres there yet, right? And this is part that we can talk about strategic planning as well. But they're just curious about if the city would be willing to sell like that extra little lot quarter.
Oh, do we own it or does the chamber own it?
The chamber would own it. It's all part of that, but, there's a process you go through and that area has not been platted,
Right, yeah, it's still platted as agricultural.
right?
There's
Well,
no
it's
other or
open.
whatever.
City, water, sewer, there's nothing there yet.
Right.
Because that'd be phase 3, actually, if I seen that right.
They don't want another lot that's available.
Well, they're looking to get something soon or whatever, and with the chamber being
Oh,
all up in the air, they're looking for options.
Well, they can buy a lot
say,
from the
I
chamber at
think
any
that-
time.
The chamber can still sell,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, but the chamber is not doing anything.
Yeah.
What I heard from Chad today is that the chamber is not doing anything right now. They haven't appointed any directors, they're not selling anything right now. That's what Chad told
Everything's
me.
on hold right now. That's,
But they still have a president.
they're still functioning.
Yeah.
They still have two people
Yeah,
but what, I'm just quoting what Chad said. He said they're not doing anything right now.
For how long? I thought that was the whole reason about putting new people on it and moving forward.
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. Chad said he talked to them and that at this time, there's no plan or ETA for appointing the board directors or selling the lot. That is what I have. So I don't know then. I can relay, or you can talk to Chad too, because you know the person who talked to you. And just ask Chad if he can go talk to the chamber and see if they can move a little bit quicker, since they own that property too on the Van Riggen, that Van Riggen Mortar is farming right now.
Okay.
I don't know what else to,
Right.
because we as a city can't do anything to help.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what they were thinking, is that the city maybe owned that.
Oh.
And that it wasn't part of the chamber yet, so.
Well, lot 1 on the north end is known as residential. That person's not purchased yet. Just saying. That one we do own.
Yep.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Anything else you guys have? We have our final item, next meeting. Anyone have anything? Mark, no? Shannon, no?
No.
Jordan?
I was just wondering where we were at with, we had talked about the kids club or whatever.
Yeah.
Were we gonna get together and move that stuff, or how, where did we leave that?
We need to help because they need to start prepping.
Mm-hmm.
They only have a couple weeks until start time, so they asked for keys for the stairs in those rooms. And I had told them that we would get them this week because they need to start putting all their stuff in there and getting everything situated. So yeah, I don't know, that would be good to help move those things. Do you think we'd have the time on Wednesday after our meeting? Oh, no, you've got to, no, sorry. Sign you up for some more stuff? I
No,
could-
definitely more move forward, but, you know, how long was
I don't think it would take long. I don't think it would take long.
10, 15 minutes.
We could do it after this meeting. I mean, I'm already late for bed.
Yeah, we're already 9 o'clock. It's 9:30.
I'm so sorry.
I'd rather come earlier Wednesday, but I know
Yeah.
I work schedule too, but
We do it early Wednesday too.
What do you guys want to
And
do?
actually, they don't need it moved immediately. You can set a date.
Yeah, This is when we're all gonna be together.
Yeah, I would rather do it when it's when we're
Yeah.
here already.
Mhm.
Do you want to do it Wednesday? Just quick on Wednesday?
It
Or
actually needs to be moved. I guess that was a.
That's
The-
playable.
the pool table, and then there's some equipment that just kind of needs to be put to the side. I am strong. I can help. I'll stand by Jordan.
Two of us on each side.
Yeah. Yeah, that would work.
Do you want to do it on Wednesday? We'll just do it after the meeting on Wednesday, quick, or before? Or what do you want to do?
I can't make any promises about it.
Yeah. I
Okay.
It's
can't
already
either.
about the year.
Okay. Do you want to do today?
Why do we have to move it?
Like
Not
10
more.
feet.
I'm just like
Oh.
into the corner.
Okay.
It's not far.
Okay, I'd rather do it tonight. Just get it done.
Okay.
Get it.
Okay, we'll do that. Anything else? Do you have anything else?
No.
Natalie, do you have anything? Carol, do you have anything? Okay, next meeting is June 10th at 6:30. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can I get a support? All in favor, say aye. Dave, sign.